Now, look at this slide. You do not have to know anything about sport or tennis to get the point I want to make here. This comes from a study we did in tennis, and I thought to make the point for you. What we did is we took 27 of the top tennis coaches in the world. They had all been identified as Coach of the Year by the International Professional Tennis Registry. So they were from all over the world. We had 27 of them. We also had 25 novice coaches. These are people who were coaching, but they had been coaching for 2 years or less. They'd been in tennis a long time. And what we did is, part of the protocol is we showed them a series of slides like you're looking at right now. Take a look at that for just a minute. And then we turned it off after 15 seconds. I know that's already been up there for almost a minute. And then we asked them to write down everything you remember. Now, I'm not going to ask you to write anything right now, but what I'd like you to do is at your table, talk about what you remember from the slide. What did you see? Go ahead. I like the energy of this group. Are you interested to see what the novices and the experts saw? Okay. I know it's a little hard for you to read, but the novices are on the left-hand side and the experts are on the lower right-hand side. University setting, yep. Yeah, the novices saw things like a car, a tiger's paw. This slide was taken at Clemson University. The person was wearing a white uniform and a hat. There was buildings behind. The experts, they saw that the person had their right hand back for balance. They noticed the body position and that the wrist was dropped. So what's the difference between the novices and the experts? Go ahead, what do you see? Discuss that at your table, then I'll tell you what we saw. I've got a question for you. Did anybody at the table realize that if you look at the number of factors, the little boxes, the number of factors, the quantity of information is almost the same? We often hear experts see more. No, they don't. They see differently. So it doesn't mean somebody who's an expert has any more brain power or a mega memory of some kind. It's what they focus on. And here's what we found. 3 things in particular, and I think it applies very much to your work as a project manager. All right? First is performance factors. They didn't see the white hat or the uniform or the buildings or the cars. They saw the balance. As Marcus said, they saw the position of the foot that would affect where the ball was going to go. So they first identified the factors that influence the performance of the player. And think about your work. When you have a project before you, most of you that are very skilled could probably put your finger on the 1, 2, 3, or 4 things that are most important to bringing this project home. Factors. And you focus on those very tightly. Novices, and many of you work with people who don't have the skill or the level that you have, they're all over the place. So performance factors first. You see that. Okay? Next, what is under your control? Because what is not under your control, you give that up. Any emotional or intellectual energy you give to things you cannot control is a waste. Forget it. Focus on the things that are under your control, which means the things you can change, which is the third point. So when you're in a project, and I know this happens all the time, things never go the way they planned, right? I work with sport coaches. Our largest population of subjects have been mostly coaches at the elite level, professional coaches, Olympic level coaches, and Division I college football coaches. And a game never goes as planned, ever. And they're ready for it. Right? Because they focus on the things that are going to influence the performance, the things they can control. For example, they can't control how the other team plays. Right? But they can control how their team plays, so they focus on that. They can't control who wins the game. How many of you saw the Masters? Okay. Bubba Watson, University of Georgia graduate. Very interesting character. Let me just say that and move on. All right? Focuses on the things he can control while he's playing. He can control his shot. He can't control what the other player does. And then finally, what can you change? And again, if you look at your projects as you're going through and focus on those three factors, without question, you will be far more efficient in bringing that project home on time and under budget. And isn't that most of the goals that we have? Yeah. All right.